Okay, so I'm coming in here with Mr. Matt Maiellaro, and I've just learned that he was unable to watch the episode officially. He had to track down his own show via clips on YouTube to watch it.
Yeah. And I tried to go to Adult Swim to watch it, but my provider wasn't available or listed, so I couldn't get in there to watch it. Uh, but out of all the clips I saw, it started to come back to me, and there was some surprising information in there that I was like, oh, I forgot about that part and why we did it this way or that way. So, yeah, I haven't seen that episode in a long time.
Well, I'm excited to get into it here and hear what kind of came back to memory. Jeannie, it's season 6, episode 1. That's how we know it anyways. I know for you, it's probably considered season 8 or 9 or something. It's from 2009.
Okay, yeah. That would be probably season 9 for us, or 8. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But so this episode debuted on Adult Swim on March 29th, 2009. However, if anybody bought the Volume 6 DVD back in December of 2008, they actually could have seen this episode about 3 months before it broadcast alongside the next 3 episodes in this season. So kind of interesting that, it was released before it aired on Adult Swim.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. That's crazy. What's the cover of that DVD?
It is basically like my podcast artwork. It's like the little figures of the characters, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know we did that. I didn't know it came out before it aired.
Yeah, kind of strange with that. I think it's because the Volume 6 DVD was the 5th season, which was only 9 episodes. So I think it's like, you guys are probably like, okay, we have these episodes done and we probably want more on this disc set than just 9 episodes. So
yeah,
you threw 4 more on.
Well, I think the company should sue itself for violating broadcast agreements.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of my podcast here, is to cause as many lawsuits as possible.
Yeah. Well, we'll get them going. But the problem is that company's dissolved by now, so
there's no one left to sue.
No, I mean Kmart should buy it next, and then
well, Sears is in the process of buying Kmart, and then from there they'll purchase Adult Swim.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, the JCPenney network.
Yeah, you subscribe to it and you get a free pair of corduroy jeans in the process.
Yeah, and you get the big 1-inch catalog, which I know was before your time, but man, that was fun to get.
That was more exciting for you than the Guitar Center catalog, was the JCPenney summer lineup.
Yeah, I used to get those too. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Nobody prints anything anymore on paper.
I know. Although I do get the Lego catalog. I still get the Lego.
They're still printing. Well, that makes sense because they make physical, blocks that people are buying, so they can justify it.
Yeah, for sure.
I imagine those Lego sets, they come with the instructions, right? They don't just give you a QR code to scan to pull up the PDF or something.
Yeah, they print all the instructions. It's insane. And sometimes the books, there's like 2 or 3 books. Like the Death Star book is almost like some college encyclopedia that's massive.
Well, hey, we have a Star Wars reference in this episode here, so we're right on topic with that.
Yeah, you have to remind me of that because I forgot about that.
Yeah, I have clips full of all that stuff. But I'm seeing here we have story elements by Nick Gibbons. Occasionally you guys would be open to ideas and scripts from people who worked on the team. I don't suspect you'd remember what Nick came in with.
No, I have no idea what he would have come in with. Don't know.
Well, hey, I'll reach out to Nick and I'll throw in here if he sends in anything.
Ronnie, it is so crazy to hear from you. Mainly because I thought you were dead. I guess I need to get my money back from that guy. Last time I used dark fiber. Anywho, I hope you and your audience are seated comfortably because to do this story justice, it needs some context. It's a story full of twists, turns, intrigue, and clogged toilets. So many clogged toilets. So many. The year was 2008. I was a much younger version of myself and had just moved to Atlanta from New York. I was unemployed at the time and looking for work. A friend of mine from New York who worked at Comedy Central helped set up a meeting for me with the now defunct post house, Radical Access. At the time, they were the place that animated Aqua Teen, and being a huge Aqua Teen fan, I was over the moon to even be in the same building. After the meeting, they said they loved my work, but they didn't have anything for me to do at the moment. I was heartbroken to hear the news. I lumbered back to my apartment and sank into my spiraling pit of despair for about 12 hours. Because the next day I got a call from Radical Access asking if I could animate a music video for them in a month by myself. I had no idea if I could. So I said, hell yeah, I can. It turns out that Matt Maiellaro had become friends with a rock band called Year Long Disaster, and they hired him to direct an animated music video for their song, Lita Atomica. Maiellaro gave me a page-long synopsis of what he wanted to have happen in the video. Then, Radical Access stuffed me into a small, dank, dark room in the back of the post house with a Cintiq. Now, a Cintiq is a computer that you can draw directly onto. Now, I had never used one of these before, and I didn't know how to use After Effects. At this point, I had created rudimentary animation using only paper, a scanner, Photoshop, and Premiere, which is a terrible and convoluted way to animate. But I am, and have always been, an idiot. It's sort of my brand. Long story short, I toiled in that room for a month and delivered a music video that I think, all things considered, turned out great. You can check it out on the system of video deployment called YouTube. YouTube is contained inside the internet. If you're having trouble finding it, call Al Gore. For that month, I worked very closely with Maiellaro, and we became friends. Not sure if you knew this about me, but I'm a comedian and a writer, but mainly an idiot. Remember, I talked about that a second ago. Well, one day, all those things converged, and in one of my patented idiot outbursts, I asked Maiellaro if I could submit a script for Aqua Teen. He said sure. I was shocked, and I jumped at the opportunity. I banged out a couple of scripts and submitted them to Adult Swim through Maiellaro. What I didn't know was that they had never actually accepted any scripts from an outside source at that point, and it was basically just a trial thing. Another guy that worked at Adult Swim at the time had also submitted some scripts. A table read was set up for all the scripts at Adult Swim. I can't tell you how much my mind was blown sitting at the same table at Adult Swim with my heroes, Maiellaro and Willis. And we were reading one of my scripts. It still seems like a dream. They liked one of the scripts and bought it. I was gobsmacked. Smacked by a gob, I tell you. Let me just add this real quick. After I finished working on the music video, I basically just refused to leave Radical Access. And that's my advice for anyone out there. If you find a job that you love, just refuse to leave. I loved that place and the people, and they liked me too, so they found work to keep me around. I will always be so thankful for their generosity, and I ended up working there for over 2 years, up until they closed the door, which ostensibly led to my employment at Adult Swim. Okay, that closes that thread. Now back to the script. I heard they were producing my script, so I just waited around at Radical for them to send the finished animatic. After several months, the animatic was finished, and it made its way to our office to get animated. I was excited to see it until I saw it. It wasn't anything at all like what I wrote. There were a couple of elements of what I wrote in there, but it was a completely different show. I was pretty bummed out. Now, in retrospect, after personally cutting tons of animatics for Aqua Teen, I realized how Aqua Teen was made. The scripts changed dramatically from the beginning of production to the end. The final product is always way different from the original script. I didn't know that at the time, so it just seemed like they hated my script and changed it. I didn't have all the info at the time, so I was just sad about it. It turned out to be a great lesson for almost any situation. Never jump to conclusions unless you have all the pertinent information at your disposal. And that's one to grow on. My original script was called Invisible, and the basic idea was that the show was cut together like normal, cutting back and forth to characters as they talked. The camera moved around following the action, but you never see any of the characters because they were all made invisible by one of Frylock's inventions in the first 3 seconds of the episode. You just hear the characters talking the whole time as absolutely batshit stuff happens around them as the show progresses, but you don't see any of it. Then, for just one frame, everything is made visible right before the credits, and you can see the horrific aftermath of the crazy stuff that had happened throughout the episode. I thought I was being innovative and pushing the envelope, because I felt that was what Aqua Teen was all about. Now, at the time, my young brain was like, this episode will get tons of press, and it'll almost be free to make. It's a win-win for everyone. Now, at the end of the day, the episode they made was great, and I learned a great lesson. That this business is a soul-sucking vacuum, an endless trail of disappointments and sadness, culminating in one existential crisis after another until you just blink out of existence. In other words, fun. Well, there's the story. I hope it wasn't too boring. I mean, I fell asleep 5 times just telling you. And thanks again for all you do for the Aqua Teen cause. We'll bring these monsters to justice soon, I'm sure of it.
Editing on this one, we have Mr. J. Wade Edwards with help from Bradley Zimmerman and Pierre M. Serrato. I'm sure I'm not saying that right.
Yo, Serrato, yeah.
Serrato, okay.
They're all great. I mean, Jay's a OG, and then Brad started off like at another studio working on our stuff, and he did a lot of Aqua Teen and 12-ounce Mouse, and then and Pierre was over at the studio with Brad,
Mm-hmm.
and and so Brad floated around, and not Brad, but well, they both did, honestly, but so all good people. Wow, that's a lot of editors on one project.
Yeah, 3 editors, which is interesting as we'll get into it. This episode, the characters are invisible for most of the episode, so I'm interested to discuss that. But I mean, you guys were known to pass out episodes to specific editors and pass out scripts to them because in this period, the editors were basically doing the storyboards as well. What might make you go to Jay with a script as opposed to Ned?
Well, sometimes it depended on were they already working on a show. We couldn't go to them with the new one.
Mm.
I mean, they're all great. It's not like we would take one specifically to one editor because they could all do any show that we had. It was probably just the fact that, one's still doing something and then Ned's wrapping up, so we give it to Ned or we give it to Jay. Yeah, it doesn't matter who it goes to because they're all fans of the show and they all make it work. So honestly, I wouldn't say that we have a favorite. Like, this is a Ned show. This is totally a Jay show.
Uh-huh.
Now, if we had like a 50 sci-fi monster in the show, we'd probably give it to Jay because
Right, that's his interest.
yeah, it's his interest. And but no, I think they're all just like equal and super talented, and so it didn't matter.
Well, the voices on this one, we have Dave Willis as Meatwad and Carl, Carrie Means as Frylock, Dana Snyder as Master Shake. Some guests here, we have Kim Manning and Vanessa, I'm going to mispronounce this.
Palacios.
Yes, Palacios, yes, as the women in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Kim being, she worked at the network, and I assume Vanessa did as well. I'm not familiar with Vanessa. What did she do?
He, you know what? Kim was doing scheduling and programming. And Vanessa, I don't really remember what she did. She did something, maybe she helped out Kim, but it was administrative, whatever she was doing. And super nice. Both of them are super, super nice. And I know Kim's still there. I'm not sure if Vanessa is, but yeah, occasionally we would just get people in the office.
We need women. Get in here.
Stand in front of this thing and say these lines.
Sure. And then one more voice actor here. We have the amazing voice of Matt Maiellaro. Maiellaro? What is this guy's last name? Why wouldn't he change this to like Cruz or something so that people can frickin' pronounce it?
It probably was Cruz, and he had to change it to hide his identity.
Oh, yeah. He's like, Nick Cage is a Coppola, and he didn't want people knowing that, so he changed his name to Nick Cage. Well, this guy is Tom Cruise's twin brother, so he had to change his name to Matt Maiellaro as the genie.
That was, I had to say, I was listening to the clips. I'm like, God, that sounds like me. And then I had to Wikipedia it, and it was me. I don't remember that I did that voice.
Sure.
I don't remember. That was one of the biggest, like, that's me doing the genie.
Sure. I mean, it's a one-off character. As far as I know, we'll never see this character again. And I mean, spoilers, he dies in the episode. Not like that matters in Aqua Teen, but so of course made sense to have you here, as well as you wrote the episode, and I think you created the show, right? Or did you just pay somebody for that?
No,
credit?
I didn't create the show. I mean, I take credit for creating half of the show, but the half I created never really made it into the show. So unfortunately, that's the case.
That's showbiz, baby. I mean, we'll see here. Shake's trying to get into showbiz in this episode. He's wrote himself a script.
And somehow I keep getting a credit for it, so I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll edit this out then, so that they never catch on, and you keep getting your $3 checks in the mail.
I know.
Before we jump into this, like I said, lots of invisibility in this episode. It's a real Bob Pettit-centric episode, since it's basically just his backgrounds and his props floating around. So that always struck me about this one.
Yeah. In fact, I was watching one of the clips and I watched it out of order and I don't quite remember the whole episode. And I saw the genie in a chair and then I heard Shake and Meatwad talking to, I'm like, where did the characters go? And I forgot the whole premise. And I thought, oh, maybe this person pulled the characters out so they wouldn't get flagged on YouTube. And it's like, no, that's not the case. We actually created that in the story.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys are the ones who had 15 minutes of Space Ghost following a fire ant that aired on television. So this doesn't fall far from that tree.
True.
Because this is a new season, this is the first episode of season 6, I want to point out we open in on the classic Aqua Teen intro. There's no cold open here, as we've seen the last few seasons. I mean, the first 2 seasons had Dr. Weird and Steve. The third season had the Space Kataz pilot chopped up and used as an intro. Did you guys ever contemplate with coming up with a new cold open for the show?
We probably just decided that we were tired of cold opens and let's just go right into the show thing. And, as you know, we changed the title of the show a few times just for fun. So, the cold open, I don't know. I don't think we ever, after Dr. Weird and then Space Kataz was actually supposed to be a show, a pilot. And then we realized it wasn't really going to sustain. So we broke it up and made cold opens with it. But yeah, I don't think we ever, we probably didn't have time to think of like a new way to do a cold open.
Right. Yeah, it seems like a lot of work. Like, I'm guessing by the end of the Dr. Weird stuff, you guys were probably a little burnt out on it, just having to come up with that little extra bit every single episode.
In a way, yeah. I hate to say that, but it does kind of wear you out. It's like, okay, what's he going to create now that's going to blow him up or whatever? So, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sure it was easier at the beginning of the show when what he did directly impacted the episode. Like, he made the Rabot and all this stuff, but then, you guys quickly drop that, and then it's almost like its own little mini show at the beginning of the Aqua Teen episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the idea was that we're supposed to open on him making something, and then that was going to drive every episode. It was going to end up in their world, but we quickly dismissed that. Probably after Rabot, right? Because I don't think there's anything else he does that comes over.
I mean, like, he kind of creates maybe MCP pants. We see, like, the spider is, like, revealed in his lab. There's some connections in the first season, but after the first season, I don't think there's ever a connection, really.
I think in the first season, we were just hauling ass trying to get these done so we could make more of them before they told us to stop. We're like, does that connect? No, it doesn't matter. Just keep going.
Yeah, we have to be in the middle of an episode, so if they say we're canceled, we can argue, well, we're still making one. Let us finish, and then you guys would secretly make a few more.
Yeah. That actually happened once, though.
Right. Well, you guys were only supposed to make the first one, then you started making the second one without permission, right?
Totally without permission.
Yeah.
And we got into some trouble for like 20 minutes.
Lazo spanked you guys, right? That's what happened with that?
Yeah, that pretty much happened. Yeah. And I really can't believe we even got away with even going that far to have written and recorded one and in edit without anybody knowing. I guess we were just full of ourselves and we thought, this is so good. Nobody's going to care. It's so good.
They'll be cool with it. They'll be happy that we're doing this.
Yeah.
All right. So jumping into Genie now, the first real shot we get, we are at the dump. And God, I can only imagine how long it took Bob to come up with this background. It's so detailed. I mean, we see some familiar things like enchiladito bags, which we saw in a previous episode. We see like pizzas thrown everywhere. We see the Aqua Teens TV in the dump. We see just a cupcake sitting there. I'm surprised Meatwad didn't grab it. So they're at the dump, the three of them, and Shake is in a dumpster, and we learn that he's supposed to be looking for aluminum scrap, but he's also looking for jewels.
What are we looking for? The jewels!
Or any can that says 5 cents redeemable in Connecticut.
But I'm still looking for jewels.
Yes, we know, Shake. You said it a number of times already.
Well, that's because that's my preference. Mine too.
Jewels would be great, Shake, but right now we need money.
Jewels are worth money. Mm-hmm. Lots of money. That's why I want to get married, so I can get one of them big rings. You know, the man gets it now.
The man gets it now. Yeah, I only have audio clips here. There's no visuals. But
yeah, no worries.
Matt, do you have a big old rock on your finger? Is that coming from your life?
Yeah, but I had to take it off for this because when it's on, I can't lift my hand to use my equipment. Yeah, it's in a vault, which is in another vault, but it's
Yeah.
so big. Yeah, in fact, it's as big as me, which is kind of unusual. So it's hard to wear out
Oh man.
without one of those dollies that you use to haul furniture around with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to use your hands in it, and you have to use the hand truck to move it around. No, you say
Yeah.
that as a joke, but like, I spend all this time looking for an engagement ring for my wife, and then we get her the wedding ring, and then she doesn't even wear it most of the time because she's like, well, I don't want to lose it. I'm like, well, what's the point of this? What are we doing here?
Well, you know what? I don't wear mine either because I've lost it twice. So
Okay.
I stopped wearing it because of that. One time I know I lost it, I think on our honeymoon because I think we were fishing and it came off in the water.
Oh
And
no.
then I got a new one. And then I lost it when I was shooting stiff at my old house. And it was gone for a long time. And Lear Bunda came over with a divining rod and
Oh,
found it.
a divining
He,
rod
yeah, he totally found it.
or a metal detector?
No, like sticks. And
Oh.
he was walking around with sticks and when they crossed, but he did find it in my
Oh
yard.
my God.
But yeah, so I don't wear mine either because I'm just going to lose it.
Right.
So it's up.
Right.
I know where it is, but I haven't worn it in years. I mean, been married 20 years now. So
Yeah, I just got a cheap one because I'm like, I don't want to be worried about losing something. So mine's like
yeah,
$30 probably. I think Shake would probably still be excited to find mine though, because hey, he can probably get a couple bucks for it. He'd be pretty stoked
yeah.
about
If he
that.
can get anything for anything that's free, he
Yeah,
would do that.
he's excited about it.
Yeah.
In this clip, we also see Meatwad is smoking. He says it's like a meal in a little paper stick. And
Wow. I can't believe that they haven't made us take that out.
yeah, well, this is 2009, so Adult Swim is in a different place than it was in like
Yeah.
01, 02, where you absolutely could not do a joke like that.
Yeah, yeah. Even now, I'm surprised that we didn't have to go back and paint that out, or they didn't do that on purpose. But I guess
Right.
nobody's complained about it. So,
Well, I'm
uh,
complaining now, Matt. I'm going to sue you.
yeah, well, sue me, and I'll deflect the lawsuit towards whoever put the cigarette in his hand.
Sue the animator who did it. Even though,
Yeah, yeah. The poor animator.
yeah, poor guy. Have you ever been to the dump before, Matt?
I've driven by a dump. Yeah, yeah. I have been to a dump.
Mm.
I had to go get my truck weighed at the dump when I moved to California. That was the only way I could get a tag.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but there were no dumpsters. I
Mm.
didn't see Meatwater, Shake, or Frylock. No. Have you been to the dump? Are you like into going to dumps?
No, I'm not. I'm not a dumpman. I don't hang out around the dumps. As far as I'm concerned, when my trash is taken away, it just disappears. I'm like an infant in that way. I don't have any object permanence to anything like that. It just
Yeah,
it's gone.
it just dissolves. It's just poof.
It just that,
Yeah.
that truck made it disappear. All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
never been there before. Maybe we can do a meat kingdom at the dump or something at some
Yeah,
point.
we should. We should. That would be gross.
Well, Shake never finds any jewels as far as I know, but he does find a schnapps bottle with a little green, tidy-whitey adorned creature inside. Shake is shaking this bottle around while the creature protests. Shake says, I shake stuff. That's how I got my name. It's my roots, man.
I swear to God, that's Dana. That's all Dana. I know Dave and I didn't write that. We probably told Dana you're shaking the bottle, and the guy's inside hitting his head and his body against the glass. And I'm sure Dana just went for it.
Yeah. Well, he's shaking and then he throws the bottle down and breaks it open and frees the critter inside.
It's a real life genie.
Well, my name's actually Gene. Gene E. E stands for, Eugene or something.
We gonna call you Double G. G squared. Ain't that right?
I'm gonna call you
Oh, okay. I don't have to call you nothing. I just thought that'd be fun.
Nice story. Now grant us some wishes, or I personally will destroy you.
Whoa, Shake, he doesn't do that.
Yeah, sure, I grant wishes all the time. For food.
For food. I want to say we get from the perspective of the genie, and we see Meatwad when he's telling him off, and his vision is doubled. He's got double vision there, in the words of Foreigner. So we learn this genie is drunk. He's a very nefarious character.
Yeah.
So that's you voicing the character.
That is me doing it. I don't know if I went through any shifting for it or
It's
not.
pitched up. I can hear that. It's a bit pitched up from your
Yeah.
normal voice. But would you remember I'm guessing the idea wasn't for you to voice it initially.
Probably not. This is why I'm thinking that since the characters disappear and I'm doing a voice and Kim and Vanessa, we probably didn't have enough money.
Oh, yeah.
Because back then when we did voices, there was no like payout for that, you know. We just did the voices and but it's different now. But yeah. Sometimes though we'll read a script and Dave and I are reading it out loud together, and then if I just take on a character, if it's working, we'll just keep it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
We don't have to go cast it. Same with Dave. If Dave starts doing something, which is he usually does, we most of the time just say, "Okay, you do that voice."
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't remember how it came to be that. Like I said, when I was watching the clips, I was like, "That's me.
He sounds
Is
familiar.
that me? Is that me? That is me doing that voice." I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's similar to your like guitar instructor character, right? You're really doing like a vocal fry kind of thing there.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm getting into that range right here, man. You know, it's like, yeah.
Now you try.
Probably can only do that for. I'm surprised I did it for that long.
Yeah, he's in a fair bit of the episode. But yeah, the Aqua teens, they found a genie, and the genie will grant their wishes, but for food, which is, he kind of got freed by the worst people ever because the Aqua teens, we'll see at their house, they actually do have food, but they don't have much money, so this poor genie.
I know.
We cut to the Aqua teens' house, and we have a discussion between Shake and Frylock. They're in the living room, and they're talking about the Ron Howard film Willow. Shake says, "Do you think Ron Howard just wished Willow was great? No, and yet it was." I'm not familiar with that film. Is that coming from you?
Yeah, I think I'm only familiar with it because the trailer didn't look good to me at all. I never saw the movie, but I can prejudge it. It wasn't good.
Yeah, it's like a fantasy film directed by Ron Howard, like Shake said, from 1988. It stars Val Kilmer and Warwick Davis.
Yeah, see right there, you put Davis in anything, it's over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's some sort of like fantasy film. It looks like he's playing I don't want to just assume, but I'm assuming some sort of dwarf character. It's all fantasy related, and it makes sense that Shake would like that kind of stuff.
Nobody wants to see. Yeah, he would like it, but we're actually just making fun of it because
Yeah.
it's terrible. It's a terrible movie. I think I was working at the theater when it came out, so that's how I remember even the poster and the trailer and all the gold and the reflective things in the air and
Mhm.
and I'm like, and then it says Ron Howard. It's like, forget it.
Yeah, especially in 88. I mean, he wasn't as known as like outside of being an actor as he is now, especially with all the things he's
Yeah.
done since then. But from there, we cut to the kitchen, and the Aqua Teen's fridge is open, and Gene, which by the way, his name is Gene E, and he thinks the E is short for Eugene. So Gene Eugene is rooting through the Aqua Teen's fridge, not dissimilar to Shake rooting through the trash earlier. And Gene is drinking all of their red spud beer, and he's throwing their meat everywhere. Meatwad comes up and says he was saving that meat for his birthday party. And Meatwad goes on to make a wish.
We thought it was bald. Y'all, I'm bald. He does grant wishes. He does. How many wishes do we get?
12 or 3. Whatever, man. Let's not put a number on something that's just so cool.
I feel like you play these kinds of like indifferent, like couldn't care less kinds of characters so well, where he's like, I don't know, man, whatever, just don't put a number on it.
12 or 3. It's like, you go from up there to down there. What's the range?
Yeah. Well, visually, Meatwad's just like, I wish I was bald, and then he puts his hand over his head. I'm bald, y'all. He did it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I tend to, I guess, between Genie and then they're kind of this in a way. They're a little bit the same. No caring for anything around them or what they might say. You just drink, just keep drinking and say shit.
Yeah, just trying to extend how long they'll keep him around for, basically.
Right.
In that clip, Gene, he just teleports behind Meatwad. We heard that in the clip, which I thought was great. Like, we're talking about this episode likely done cheaply. We never see a walk cycle from this character. He just teleports where he wants to go, which works perfectly for this kind of thing.
Yeah, that's another sign that we were like riding the edge of our budget for the year.
Right. Right, yeah. Well, Frylock, he's being a negative Nancy about all this, and Shake does not appreciate Frylock's attitude. Shake wishes Frylock away, but Gene only turns him invisible.
Look, just don't be pissed off when he doesn't come through for you with a wish.
I wish that you were gone with that attitude. Gene, make it happen. Wish Frylock away.
Kabingo.
Oh, boom! It's for real, Joe! I knew
I'm
it!
still here, Shake. You just turned me invisible.
Oh, kill him, Gene. Dismissed with his life.
Kill him. Of course, every time Gene makes or he grants a quote wish, or he makes anybody invisible, he kind of grabs his crotch, maybe like a little bit like Michael Jackson. Maybe that was a little nod for Vishal. And there's a fart noise that happens every time he does it.
Yeah, that was probably done after. I don't think we decided on that until like during the actual production, because I personally wouldn't have reenacted that during a script read.
Sure. Yeah. Of course not.
But I like how Shake just, he just goes to the limit. Just don't just dismiss it, kill him, dismiss his life.
Wish him away, he says, and he's like,
Wish
end
him
his
away.
life.
It's sort of Shakespearean eloquence, the way he's wanting Frylock to die, how he's verbalizing it.
The guy who, as always, it's so obvious I don't need to say this, but the guy who kind of keeps them together and keeps them housed in a way, Shake's like, kill him. I'm done with him.
Exactly. Yeah, because if he wasn't there, if Frylock wasn't there, they'd just be like in states of decay.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have done an episode about that where Frylock moves out. Then you did Plantasm where he leaves them big time.
Yeah,
and it's always the same where Meatwad and Shake they fall to despair basically every single time.
completely. Yeah, because they don't know how to take care of themselves at all.
Right. Well, Meatwad, he has another wish here. He's been granted the wish of baldness. He wants to be Zack from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
I wish that I was Zack of the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
All right.
All right, y'all. I'm living in a hotel suite with my twin brother Cody on Nickelodeon. Right?
No, you're just invisible like me.
Look, over time, you will form into that guy that you just said.
All right.
And that castle thing will be built all around you, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
Now, where's your money?
Now, I know that this Sweet Life of Zack and Cody reference is from you. You're a big Disney fan, right?
Massive, huge. I'm a huge, just incredibly over the top. I had never heard of that show, and I'm sure that came right from Dave. And you can tell when I respond to it as Gene E that I've never seen the show.
Like, yeah, you'll turn into that guy and live in that cast. So the whole concept of that show, I think it came out in like 2005.
Yeah.
And it's these two twins played by the Sprouse twins who before this, they were like Ben and Friends. And they were in Big Daddy with Adam Sandler. Like they had done some stuff before this, but they're about, 10, 12 years old in the show on Disney Channel where their mom becomes the lounge singer at a hotel. So they go to live with her at this hotel and it's all crazy and hijinks.
Oh.
And Meatwad apparently loves the show because he wants to be in the show with his genie wish.
Wow, that's interesting.
But I love here in true Aqua Teen fashion, the villain or just the guest is just super incompetent, right? But that doesn't stop Meatwad and Shake from playing along with it, and they're totally jazzed about this, while Frylock doesn't really care. But we learn it seems like all the genie can do is turn people invisible, which is cool. Like, that's not nothing, but it's also like not at all what a genie is supposed to do. Of course, great things come in threes. Now Shake has a wish, and during this clip, we'll kind of cut to Frylock's room. He wrote a screenplay and wants to direct it. So first, Gene will make the script invisible, and then unsurprisingly, he will make Shake invisible as well.
First, I require you to do something for me. I wrote a great screenplay. It's called Fast.
Wow.
There's a truckload of snakes that are on a bus. It's sort of like Speed, only the speed is faster. You have to go 155 miles an hour, or the bomb will go off.
Who's your star?
I got the title, which obviously we both feel really strongly about, and I have an ending.
I like it. Come at me.
My screenplay!
Don't worry, it's being sold at something. DreamWorks.
But I was gonna direct that piece.
Boom, director.
Hey, Frylock! Guess what? I'm a director.
Hey, where's the money?
So Jeannie keeps asking, "Where's the money?" every single time.
I know.
Oh man, it's so great that Shake. He's this guy who just watches TV all day, and when he comes up with his own screenplay, which I'm realizing now, you guys came back to Shake writing a screenplay in the 2023 season.
We did, yeah.
But when he writes a screenplay here, it sounds like it's an amalgamation of just a bunch of other movies. Like he's like, well, what if it was like Fast, but they went faster? And what if there was snakes in it, like on snakes on a plane?
Totally. Yeah, we're riffing on Speed and Snakes on a Plane, and just the fact that even in that other script, I think he has a beginning and then an ending, but he doesn't quite have anything fleshed out ever. He's just like half-assing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the notion of him trying to get into Hollywood, writing something valuable,
Well,
always entertained us.
Yeah, I know. And to track the story so far, we had the Aqua teens who are so poor they are looking for aluminum cans at the fucking dump.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do for money. But then when they can make genie wishes, Meatwad wants to be on a Disney show, which he thinks is a Nickelodeon show. And Shake wants to direct his screenplay. So they're both just so fascinated with, I guess, media and pop culture in that way. But because this show, at this point in time, this is after movie film for theaters, you guys are doing Aqua Teen in 1080p, so it's very high def. And because of that, Shake is holding a page from his screenplay. This is the last page. And I could read it. So I'm going to read through the screenplay here that he has written out. And you let me know. I don't know if you and Dave came up with this or if this was a Bob Pettitt thing. So it's Fast by M. Shake. And Fast is spelled P-H-A-S-S-S-S-S-S-S-T. Fade in. Interior. Coffee shop. Day. Man is on the phone. He doesn't have a name, I guess. It's just man. Man is on the phone. Pan down to his coffee. There's a scone. Blueberry. He talks quietly. A chick walks by. He stares. That's the end of the scene. Next scene. Next scene. Exterior. CIA headquarters. Day. General Benjamin Borg sits at his desk, frowning. He picks up the hotline phone. He doesn't have to dial because the hotline phone is automatic. Here's some dialogue now. I'll play Gen Borg. General Borg says, "Get me China immediately. There's an emergency. No time to explain, but I want a rundown of every bus in the tri-state area." "No, you fool. Rental car shuttles are not buses." Exterior. China. A rickshaw explodes. End. That's Shake's script.
That's amazing. It's just so generic.
Well, I do want to say, to Shake's credit, it is formatted correctly. It is formatted like a script. It's not just written out like a sentence or anything. He has it formatted.
Some of that it's really, yeah, I'm sure that it is. I would love to say that I know that Dave and I wrote that. We may have, but I honestly don't remember. But I'm sure that the fast being spelled with a PH came from me because I'm big into the phantasm, plantasm, fat, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And a rickshaw exploding. I mean, yeah. I would love to say that we wrote that, but I honestly don't know. But it sounds like something we would do.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, it sounds like you guys, but I'll reach out to Bob and see if he has any recollection of this.
Yeah, he may know. Maybe he did it. I don't know. But if he did, he should write more screenplays.
Yeah. I would watch that movie. Hey, it's Ronnie coming in here from the future. Although I guess it's, your past still at this point. Regardless, I reached out to Bob Pettitt after we talked about this, and at first I sent Bob a picture of the script and I wrote it out for him, and he's like, I might have written that, maybe somebody else contributed to it after the fact. Then Bob went rooting around in his files, and sure enough, he found the original Photoshop files from when he did this. So yes, Bob confirmed he wrote the script, not Matt and Dave, even though it sounds like they could have, but it's no surprise that if anybody could match the tone of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, it would be Bob Pettitt. So Bob gave me permission to share just these few files on the dancingisforbidden.com website, so go over there, check it out if you want to see the files that Bob dug up for this. Great script, Bob. I love it. So, at this point in the Aqua Teen episode now, all three Aqua Teens are invisible. Frylock shows up, and he demands to be made visible. He throws Gene against the wall. So, we see, even though these characters are invisible, we see, Gene getting thrown against the wall here. Gene claims the wishes are now limited, and eventually he says he makes Frylock visible, except he doesn't.
You ain't getting nothing more from me until you turn me visible again.
Fine, whatever. Kagay. Hooray, visible.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Give me the money.
Give me the money. He's asking the wrong guys.
He is. What did I say when I did that wish? When I did that step?
Kagay.
Kagay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would never go in these days. I just love the just get to the point dialogue in this stuff. It's just like, give me the money. Yeah, you are. Give me the money. I'm not visible. Yeah, you are. Give me the money. There's no room for explanation or dissertation. And we're just like, just get to the point. It's almost like we jumped a page and a half to the next line.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I love how little of a shit that Gene gives, because he's like, there you go, you're visible now. As Gene can see, he's not.
Yeah.
He's just lying to the guy, like, whatever, just give me some money, man.
Yeah.
From there, we cut to the living room, and Gene is in a jar, but he's suffocating because nobody poked any holes in the lid.
You live here!
Hey, Gene.
Some holes in the damn lid!
Poke some holes in the lid, Meatwad.
Meatwad ain't here. See, it's Cody now, of the Sweet Lifers, Zack and Cody.
I thought it was Zack.
It don't matter, they're twins. I'm on Nickelodeon.
I'm on Nickelodeon, which, again, it's a Disney show. Meatwad's completely wrong.
I know. I wonder if we did that on purpose for some reason.
You must have. I mean, it's just funny as hell. Like,
yeah.
My wife and I went to watch, because we had Disney Plus for a month. Like, let's go watch Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, because I watched it when I was a kid. And we watched it, and it actually holds up pretty well. I think those boys are very good actors.
Oh, cool.
Which makes sense considering what they had done up until that point. So I went and showed her this episode after, because I knew, I'm like, there's so many Sweet Life references.
Yeah.
In this episode.
And that was the first clip that I saw when I was doing my homework for this podcast. And that was I was hearing the screaming, and I thought, God, that sounds kind of like me.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized I had to wiki it, and it was me.
Well, that scream is pretty intense. I mean, you're really giving a performance with that. You're shouting. It's not something that you usually do on the show.
No. Yeah, that was probably one of my finest acting VO jobs.
While it's pitched up and then also ran through some sort of filter because your character's in a jar, so people can't really hear it to fully appreciate it. But yeah, I thought about that, how the voice already has that vocal fry, kind of element to it. And then you're screaming on top of that.
It does. Yeah. And same thing with the only one I do that's not that way is Cyber Ghost, because I'm just kind of talking really slow. And then we add the effect. But like used to be that way too. He was hard to do for too long because I was really like yelling stuff. But yeah, this genie guy is more like gravel that just like swallow a bunch of razor blades and then go into the booth.
Right. Well, I mean, look, you had to go big because we just watched Gene die. He just suffocated to death on television before our very eyes. He is dead now, but it's revealed that this whole thing was production on Master Shake's fast film because they have the lights set up and they are filming Gene here. Shake says that they don't need holes in the lid because they'll add them in post. Is this how Hellraiser 3 was filmed, Matt?
Yeah, pretty much. Everything was done in post. We didn't even go to the set. There were no actors or sets or dialogue, and then it was all just done in post.
Yeah. It was just a picture of Doug Bradley that they had to work with, and then just his high school graduation photo.
Yeah.
And then they touched it up to be what we saw in the movie.
They crewed up in the middle of North Carolina, and they brought us all in. We just sat in a hotel for 6 weeks, and then they said, go home. And then the movie came out.
Yeah. that's how Hollywood works, as Shake knows.
That's the magic of it. We'll add holes in post.
And he also tells Gene that he doesn't really believe his performance as Gene is actually
He's dying, suffocating. Yeah.
So we can actually see you're the best person to ask. What's that thing called that you like snap in front of the camera to sync up the audio and the video?
Oh, I mean, they call it a lot of things. The clapper, the slate.
Okay. Yeah. So we can see the clapper here. Production number fast is what's written there. Scene 3, take 12, roll 4. Date, I think it says 9/25/08. Production company, Gene E. Inc. Sound, there's just a drawing of Meatwad. Director, M. Shake. And cameraman, Frylock. So there's some detail on the film that is being made. I guess it's a snuff film, right? That's what that is when somebody actually dies.
Yeah,
in the movie,
and
right?
I'm sure, yeah, exactly. And I bet that's all Bob putting all that in.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah, he was so good with that stuff. And then like sometimes there'd be like a truck would go by and it would be like D&M moving company or something. And yeah, that's all Bob. So that's why the show was so great, because everybody who worked on it had something to add. It wasn't just Dave and I coming up with stuff. Everybody. So
Exactly, yeah. And as we know, Bob didn't have enough work on this episode with the entire dump background he had to make. And then we'll also go to a bathroom soon, and of course all the various props we see here. I guess Bob found time to put some extra work in here. Both Frylock and Meatwad, they have ideas on how to proceed now that Gene is dead.
There's only one thing left to do.
Go on tour with Hannah Montana and live in a hotel suite on Nickelodeon.
No, we're going to open him up and create a visibility vaccine from his genie gland.
And that cut is cutting to Frylock's bedroom, where it's very brutal. Did you see this picture, Matt?
oh my God.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Super graphic. Not something you guys could have done in the earlier seasons whatsoever. It is very brutal.
That's almost like out of Hellraiser itself.
I know. Yeah, it's almost shockingly graphic.
I wonder if Todd did that. Todd Redner.
Oh, he might have, because I know Matt wasn't on the show at this point, so it makes sense that Todd might be the one behind that.
Todd is like obviously super talented, super nice. He's been on Meat Kingdoms. He's been on this Aqua team forever.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems really like kind of like just buttoned up and cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing an episode on another show, and I wanted to reference some Saw stuff, and I thought, oh, Todd's the guy to do this, but he's on the show, but I'm not sure if he's going to want to go that direction. And I started talking to him about the prop I needed and how dismal it was going to be. And he's like, I love Saw. I love those movies.
Perfect.
I'm like, I had no idea. So that's probably Todd doing that ripped open.
Sure. Yeah. Just want to mention, Todd Redner did design the genie. He posted some different versions of the genie he came up with over on his Instagram page. I'll put a link to that in the description to this podcast episode. And I assume it was Todd who also did this autopsy scene with the genie. Todd Redner, he's one of the best. So yeah, we're in Frylock's room. Gene is being autopsied. Super graphic. We can see all of his little organs in there. Turns out Frylock doesn't actually know where the genie gland is, and also if the genie gland is even a thing. It seems like Frylock kind of got ahead of himself here, and he made up some genie physiology that he thought he could use to make a vaccine. Because to the plot, all three are invisible, but the guy who you assume could fix it is dead now, so they're screwed. We get a lot of visuals here with a pen floating around. Meatwad is using this pen to poke at the splayed body and poke the organs, and there's blood squirting out everywhere. It's this kind of classic Aqua Teen gag, introducing sci-fi logic and then immediately admitting that no one knows what they're doing. To me, it kind of echoes Total Recall, where Carl gets sucked into the toilet, like this over the top kind of body horror stuff.
Yeah. And Frylock will just come out and say something scientific sounding, even though he doesn't quite know if that's going to work
Yeah.
or if it even exists to put together.
Yeah, I guess Frylock in a way is similar to Genie here in that like the Genie has powers, we see that, but he can't quite do what people want him to do.
Right.
And Frylock clearly is an established scientist who has made some phenomenal inventions, but at the same time can almost be a victim of his own hubris and that he assumes he knows everything, but then he's like, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
So while Frylock and Meatwad are there talking, we hear a high-pitched Carl start to scream into the scene, and he's pounding on what sounds like a door. He's yelling for attention. So we cut to the living room, and we see Carl is super tiny, but he's visible. He's annoyed because he wanted to be invisible like the Aqua teens. He learns that Gene is dead. Frylock asks Carl if he knows anything about genies.
Do you know anything about...
I studied elevator repair!
Just asking, you know.
We learned Carl studied elevator repair. That's what. So they didn't learn about genies there, I guess.
No. None of that trade school.
I assume Carl didn't graduate with an elevator repair degree. I feel like he might be doing that if he did.
Yeah, I think that was probably something he probably didn't like finish. He tried it for a while, but maybe it just started too early in the morning, so he gave up on it.
Yeah, he was too busy going to like Foreigner concerts and Bryan Adams concerts that he'd
he
wake
was
up
getting
too late.
home when the class started, so like fuck this, I can't do this.
From there, Carl gives us a very heartfelt and incredibly Aqua Teen Hunger Force speech.
All I wanted was the American dream. What every immigrant wants when he comes through our shores or over our fences. To get his rocks off indiscreetly and invisibly for free in a woman's public restroom or dressing area of a lingerie shop. And now that dream is no more.
Wipe those tears, Carl. Your story's too important to America.
That's Jake talking through a megaphone because
I know.
That way we can kind of see where the characters are a little bit by having that megaphone floating around, and we can kind of gauge that Shake is over there.
Yeah. It's typical Carl to start like coming up with this inspirational speech and then just take it to the sewer immediately.
Yeah, that's what every that's the American dream. What every immigrant wants is to be invisible in the woman's bathroom.
I know. We do that in Plantasm also. He starts off on something and just takes it the wrong direction because he can't help himself because he only has about 2 sentences of inspiration and then it just goes back into what he really wants to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's something you guys do on the show a lot, not just with Carl. Like Meatwad will do speeches like that, but instead of being perverted like Carl's speeches, they'll just be like pointless and stupid.
Totally, yeah.
Meatwad acts like he's doing this big thing and it's this dramatic piano music, but he's saying the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah, just derail that kind of stuff. So yeah, you have to.
Right.
For that show.
Carl's monologue, it's both disgusting and darkly funny. It's just satire about perversion disguised as freedom as he tries to justify what he wants. And he's just sad that he can't be invisible too. But Shake says, hey, look, your dream is too important. Shake, he's trying to make a film here throughout this episode. So we cut to the women's bathroom now. Carl and Shake are there, and Carl is super stoked about it. You guys are dirty, Matt. What the heck is this?
Are you playing it?
No. They're in they're trying to spy on women.
Oh, I know. I apologize that we went to that. But you know what it is? It's Carl. It's Carl and Shake, basically.
Yes.
So it's not really us. It's because of who Carl is that we were allowed to take it there.
Mm-hmm.
So I blame the character.
Yeah. Of course, any Aqua Teen, anybody listening to this isn't going to actually be offended by this. I'm wondering, though, is there ever a line that you didn't want to cross on the show in these kinds of regards? Like, even though it was at Carl or Shake's expense, was there anything that you didn't want to do?
Well, I think that I'm always weary about taking it too far south because there's different ways to make people laugh. But when it's that kind of character, it makes sense to take it in that direction
Right.
because that's what he would do. And then we just try to make it funny. Um, but yeah, that's pretty. I think that was almost crossing the line. That one scene, at least for me, and we've done that a few times in other episodes where things got pushed in a direction that I felt uncomfortable with. And there was something in the movie, the Plantasm movie, that I actually had to during mix, we chopped more of this piece out because it was just unnecessary. And
Was it Carl masturbating?
yeah, it was that. It just went on forever and ever and ever. and and I was going to a special room with a sound designer to find all these noises, and I was so embarrassed. I'm like, God, I'm so sorry, Mac. He's like, you know, you're doing like Marvel stuff, and I'm in here helping you find these kind of noises.
Yeah.
So we all had a meeting about it, and we said, yeah, let's just cut it down. I mean, we don't need to go on that long with something like that. So that was definitely one that I was kind of, but yeah, but you know, it's the character. The character would do that,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
but to me, it's like just do a little bit of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
We don't have to
yeah.
showcase it and make it half the movie.
Yeah. 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 And I mean, that's the thing, right? Is balancing, like, you might personally be a little uncomfortable with it, but you can also recognize that it's really funny and like depraved that the characters are doing that. So it's trying to find that balance between the two, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and it's like, you know, everybody has a different idea of how far something should go, and
Mhm.
so instead of just saying no, I've never said no and walked away from something, and I don't think Dave has either.
Mhm.
We just try to find a middle ground.
Right.
Yeah, but I remember for that Plantasm scene, the studio had people that wouldn't work on it because not that scene because
Oh,
they're like, I'm not animating that, and
wow.
yeah, it was really kind of I don't know if you want to put this in there, but yeah, it got to that point.
Yeah, interesting.
And then sitting there with Mac at Skywalker finding those noises, and I was like, ugh, this is not. And then I had to watch the movie with my family, you know, and that scene came up, and I told them in advance. I said, "There's this one scene that's terrible."
Hmm.
So it was, yeah, it was a little weird.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, to touch on like the Plantasm thing is that
Yeah,
you guys didn't make that in house. So that, like, I'm just explaining to the listener, like, you had to have a professional sound person helping you like get these sounds as opposed to like somebody that normally worked on Aqua Teen. So that's why it was, you know, maybe you had to own it a little bit more in that moment because you're working with like some other professional on this as opposed to just doing it yourself or whatever.
yeah. So that designer was great, but it was just sort of like we're at this like kind of like really high established, like high concept, like people respect this place.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
in here going, find the squishier sound. It's like,
Right. Well, I'll let you know. I mean, I know folks who watched that movie thought that scene was hilarious, and this scene here in Genie is hilarious too. As depraved and messed up as it is, it's really funny.
yes, yeah. This one is not as bad as the other one, but
Yeah.
but it goes in that direction for me. But I mean, that's what the characters would do, so that's what you do with them.
Exactly. So, Shake and Carl are there. They're trying to get women to go to the bathroom so they can spy on them and film them. Carl says something like, "Well, sometimes women just come in here to talk." And Shake's like, "Oh, don't worry. He turned some faucets on, so we have a slow faucet drip. Like, that'll make them have to go to the bathroom if they come in here to talk."
Yeah.
So Shake then helps Carl get into place. He puts him in the toilet. Fine.
Perfect.
Right as some babes show up.
You stay in the toilet bowl. That's where the action is.
Good call.
See? It's like a pool to you.
You think they'll see the camera?
They're coming. Hand me the camera.
Get in here, Zack, and let's go. Really? Yeah.
Show it to me, baby. Yeah! There it is. Yeah.
Of course, Shake's invisible, but the women can hear him because he's screaming right next to them. And then they also see this this floating haunted camcorder floating around. And it's great because, of course, you guys can't show them like going to the bathroom, but
Yeah.
Shake like freaks them out the second they come in. Like, he's so excited, he doesn't even wait for them to
control
go.
himself. He can't. He's just got to yell out, "Show it to me!" And yeah, he just completely f's it up. But yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
so that's not as I don't quite remember that scene until you just played it for me. So it's more harmless than I thought. So
Yeah. It's really, it's not that bad.
yeah, it's the setup. The setup is like, oh no, but then
Right.
when it actually proceeds,
Mhm.
it works.
Right, exactly. So Shake goes over to show Carl the footage, which isn't really anything. But when he enters the stall, it causes the toilet to flush. Carl is able to hang on, though, thanks to a trusty tampon. But Shake, he's amused by the auto flush technology. He makes it flush again.
The toilet operates on laser beams! Like Star Wars in here! This is how Darth Vader craps!
This is how Darth Vader craps. He's never seen this before, I guess.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's Dana taking it to that level. I'm sure we thought, keep making the toilet flush because Carl's in there. And then laser beams and Darth Vader is totally Dana.
So we cut to Frylock's room from here. Frylock is on Wikipedia, or as it's called here, Libel Tree, and he's researching genies. For anyone who doesn't know, libel is publishing a false statement that is damaging to a person's reputation. Mm-hmm. The motto of the website, this is a Bob thing, I'm guessing. The motto on the site is, you can write anything here. So we actually get a bit of a twist in this scene, Frylock doing his research.
Genies are usually known to live in bottles because of alcoholic tendencies that run in genie families. Often genies will turn other people into little genies so they can have someone like them to drink with. Carl.
Oh, he's gone, man.
Whoa, Shake.
I flushed him down the toilet.
No, he was a genie, damn it. He could have turned us visible.
I like, we have the characters startling each other. You guys are playing around with that now in this episode where Frylock didn't even know Shake was there. He's like, whoa.
Yeah.
But that's why Carl was small, because the genie turned him into a genie as well, because Carl's also a dirtbag who likes to get drunk all the time.
And I'm sure that wasn't planned. I'm sure that came out as we were writing, getting towards the end of this thing, going, how do we wrap this up?
Right.
What if, like, we didn't start out saying, Genie's going to do this to Carl. Here's sort of the arc of the story. That totally came out of left field near the end of writing.
Gotcha. I mean,
yeah.
I've seen this episode countless times, and I honestly never remembered that Carl was a genie in the episode. I didn't even think about why he was small. Like, I guess that detail just missed me somehow. Hopefully I'm not the only one there. But yeah, kind of a twist. Like, oh, well, Carl was a genie too now. So from here, Shake and Meatwad, they joke around and annoy Frylock. We don't have to play the clips, but it's funny. They're just messing around in Frylock's room. We see props floating around. We see an explosion. Meatwad pulls boogers out of his nose. But Frylock here, as a plot device, he furthers the plot. That's often Frylock's job in an episode of Aqua Teen. He's about to further the plot, but Shake has his own idea.
We've got to find Carl. He's the only one that could turn us visible again.
I know what we'll do.
From there, we cut back to the women's bathroom.
No.
So Shake, he's instructing the guys on how to film unsuspecting women, except he learns the guys never followed him. He was just there talking to himself the whole time. He goes back to the Aqua Teen's house, but he also can't find them there as well. So we then cut to a sewer outlet pipe. Shake miraculously finds the guys. So I guess this is the third background that Bob did for the episode. Mm-hmm. Shake finds the guys. We see two floating pairs of tidy whities. One is clean, which is Frylock, and one is dirty, which is Meatwad. Carl is tiny, and he comes out of one of the pipes, and he's covered in waste, and Frylock picks him up. This is a long clip, but it's the end of the episode, basically.
Someone needs to give him mouth to mouth.
I'm not touching those lips.
I don't know CPR.
Well, someone needs to do it.
Then someone should do it.
Don't look at me.
You have no idea where I'm looking.
Well, fine. I guess we'll just wear underwear the rest of our lives then, huh?
That sounds like paradise to me.
Ooh, it does. I want a zebra print thong, and I'm going to buy it right now.
You go through my sock drawer.
I thought you were dead.
Come on. I think I need a change of underwear.
Stripes are slimming. But just for the record, you want to make sure you wear those on the outside.
Is this like a racing stripe?
Yeah, those are racing stripes, if you consider diarrhea to be a sport.
That's how I got it for so cheap at the store. It was pre-skidded.
Pre-skidded?
By who? From the plum factory?
What are you doing? No, wait. No.
That's Carl getting carried away by ants into an anthill.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. So I didn't really explain it. The idea there really was that they had to save Carl so that they could become visible again, but nobody wanted to give him mouth to mouth. So they're like, I guess we're invisible for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. And Shake and Meatwad are into it.
Yeah. Meatwad's underwear pre-striped.
Yeah, pre-skinned.
Pre-skinned.
Oh, that's so funny. And then he's still alive.
Yeah.
But I wonder though, we never even thought about the fact that they're really, that one genie had one power, but did we give one to Carl? Of course, we never go that far with it, but even though he was a genie, maybe, but what power would he have had? Luckily, we didn't have to. Luckily, they're only 15 minutes long. We didn't
Luckily,
have to go
the credits came up at that point, and you didn't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wondered that same thing. I'm like Carl apparently is a genie now, which I guess makes sense because he's small, like Gene was. So I'm to follow the logic. We know that Gene was a genie because he did have magical powers, and he did make the guys invisible, and we assumed turned Carl into a genie. First of all, was all he could do really just what we saw? Like, could Gene grant other wishes, but he didn't know how? Maybe he was too drunk to. Maybe he didn't care to. My thought here is that Carl theoretically could get out of the anthill with genie powers, but one, he never learns he's a genie. He just thinks that he was made to be small, so I guess he wouldn't know that he could do that. And two, maybe all Carl could do is the same as Gene, which would be turn things invisible and turn people into genies, which wouldn't help him at all. I guess he could maybe teleport out, like Gene teleported out of the refrigerator earlier. But I don't know.
So you're filling in all these spaces that we'd never even bothered to investigate.
Well, that's the fun thing about Aqua Teen is that, like, it doesn't matter ultimately. Like, it's just about the joke. So it's like these gaps in logic are fun because it's like, oh, I wonder, how this could have gone. But yeah, who maybe Carl got out. Maybe he figured out he could teleport or something. Who knows?
Maybe if they give us some money soon, maybe we should go back to this episode and just reinvent it and make it 90 minutes.
Yeah.
We can have all this explanation and all this setup.
No jokes. There's no time for jokes in that. We need a lot of logic.
No jokes. It's a drama. The whole thing is a drama with a bit of Willow magic in it. And we'll see if Ron Howard wants to walk by in the background as an extra.
Yeah, and we'll get Val Kilmer in there as well. I want to say, from my memory, I've heard Dana talk about the end of this episode where he talks about how Meatwad's underwear, the racing stripes, are, if you consider diarrhea to be a sport. I feel like Dana said that he came up with that in the recording session.
Oh, he did.
And he said that it was the hardest he's ever seen Dave laugh. Like, Dave had to lay down and laugh for like 2 minutes when Dana came up with that.
I'm sure that happened. I mean, I know Dana came up with that. The guy was just amazing. He was just able just to riff on everything. And when I heard it, I laughed my head off. And so I don't remember the record session so much, but I'm sure Dave was in stitches over it. I remember occasionally we would do something and it'd either be a line that we wrote or Dana making something up. And then sometimes Dana was we had to take like a minute break because it was so funny or just so unexpected, Right. You kind of pump yourself up when you're in there, whether you're doing the VO or directing the VO, because you have this like one chance to get it great. And you kind of get into this realm of a world that nobody else is living in at the moment. And then you might say something that is hilarious. So you think it is, and everybody else thinks it is. And I'm sure the recording engineer is just staring at us like, okay, this is $10 an hour.
Wait, no, we're doing something here. Like,
this is so funny to us. But no, that is a great line. I mean, that's totally Dana too. Yeah.
Yeah, we just, end with the Aqua Teens ultimately not really caring that they're apparently invisible for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We just reset to the next episode.
Exactly. So hey, that's Genie. That's the first episode of season 6 here, I guess, as we wrap this episode up.
It's a good one.
Yeah, a strong start to the season, I think. I'm biased, but I'm delighted to hear you doing the voice, just because I think you play that character so well. Like, if somebody came in with a real cartoony kind of take on it, to me, it wouldn't be as funny. It's funny that he sounds just kind of like a normal dude who's like, yeah, whatever, man. Where's the money?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just like doesn't care about anything. Yeah, even his delivery. Yeah, yeah, that works for that character.
As we wrap up here, do you have any kind of closing thoughts on this episode? Anything we didn't touch on while covering it?
No, I think that this was probably the best first episode of that season that we could have ever written and produced. So I'm just thankful that the idea came to us right when we were starting the season, and this was going to be the first episode. Otherwise, it would have been not as good.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You know, it's funny doing these with you because so this one I didn't remember all of it, but when I started watching clips, I started to totally remember it. And then some of the things we touched on, I don't remember being in there. But then like there was one that we did recently with the flute master, and I forgot that I came back in that episode.
Whoa, oh, that was smoking. That was on fire. That rip burned down the town, man. Hey.
And I had to watch it again. So thanks for bringing the show back to life. It's fun to do these with you.
Well, thanks for doing it, Matt. Where can listeners find you if they want to connect with you on the internet?
Well, I have an Instagram thing. It's my name. It's the real Matt Maiellaro, Maiellaro. I have to spell that. And then I have a YouTube page, Matt Maiellaro. And I think you have to put 7460 behind it. I'm not sure how that works, but it's just a kind of it's not a really focused channel like some people were telling me I should focus because it's kind of all over the map. So Meat Kingdom's running on there, and some stuff that I've done on Aqua Teen's on there, some stuff nobody's seen's on there, live action, cooking. It's just a big kind of fun mess of stuff.
Where can people find Meat Kingdom if they want to watch that?
Meatkingdom.net.
Yes, sir. And why don't you explain to the audience what Meat Kingdom is in case they don't know?
Well, it's kind of a cooking, camping talk show with guest stars and with Ronnie Neely.
Oh, he sounds handsome.
Yeah, he's on there. He's on there. Yeah, you should see it. It's really good. He's really good because I script everything he says. And so I just send the script ahead of time. Yeah, it's kind of a mess of a show, which is why I think it's fun. And so my buddy John and John was a editor producer on Aqua Teen and 12 Ounce Mouse, and I know that he cooks and I like to cook, and so we started filming us cooking, and then we said let's bring a guest on. And Ronnie, you were the first guest, and we started doing that. Then I started doing them at campsites. So it's kind of just a fun like hang out in our world and let's talk about Aqua Teen, and the guest star might be somebody who's either in our industry or is Aqua Teen specific, whether they're a voice person. We've had Dana Snyder, we've had Bob Pettitt who does our backgrounds. We just did one with Seth Green that I'm working on right now, just part of the industry, even though he was in an Aqua Teen. Yeah, it's just kind of a rip roaring, kind of a messy, fun cooking, camping talk show. Occasionally there's tornadoes and lightning, and sometimes there's fireballs. Yeah, I just try to make it like kind of like out of the box, fun and funny, and I hope I think people are looking at it. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, legally speaking, every Matt Maiellaro production needs to have a fireball or explosion.
Yeah, it's in the contract that I wrote for myself. So.
Yeah, so you'll sue yourself big time if you don't follow through on that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I got to figure out where to put one in with the Seth Green one. I've just started the Seth one. There's so many cameras now. I have too many cameras, and now it's just going to take forever.
Well, besides Meat Kingdom, is there anything else that you're working on that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I'm doing a little limited animated short with a guy named Ronnie Neely.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
He lives in Michigan or Montana or something.
Oh, that's boring. He doesn't live in LA?
No, he should live in Minnesota if he knows what's good for him.
Oh, maybe he'll move there.
Yeah, but you and I are doing that thing. Yeah.
We are?
We are.
Oh, man, I must have been drunk when I agreed to that. I remember that.
Well, you've been doing all the artwork, and you wrote the first script, and we've been kind of just batting it around. So I hope that you're lucid when we make it.
Oh, I might not be. You know what? I'm a little bit like Master Shake here, where he had that one page of his script that we read earlier, and I sent you a one-page script, which was almost as good as Shake's.
Yeah, it was a good script. I'm starting to get back to you. I had a lot going on when that.
Yeah, I know you've had so much. I didn't want to. Did you read it yet? What did you think?
What did you think? Is it funny? Is it good?
Is it good?
Yeah. So I'm super excited about this because it's just a fun idea, and it's something that we're just going to try. And if we like it, we're going to keep making it, and we hope everybody else likes it. It's super limited animation. It's real dialogue driven, visual driven. They might be 20 seconds. They might be a minute and a half. We don't know. We're just going to put them together and see what happens. So
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess, I don't know if I'll mention it beforehand, but we'll announce it here. We're working on something together that we're excited about. We'll see how it turns out. And there will be some nods to Aqua Teen Hunger Force and 12 Ounce Mouse. Like I hired Tom Cruise to break into Adult Swim to get me the campfire effect that we see throughout Aqua Teen. So Tom Cruise gave me that on a flash drive earlier today. So I've got that ready to go. And we'll just try and, give little nods to these worlds that you have created that people love so much. But we're doing our own thing that is going to be awesome as hell, I think.
I think so too. I'm so excited about it. I think it's funny and fun. And working with you has been a blast on this thing. It's just going to go smoothly.
Yes.
As long as you just do what I say, everything I say.
And of course. That's in the contract.
So, but I think we're going to come up with its own channel. Maybe on YouTube or Instagram. I'm not sure how we're going to do this yet.
Yeah,
but
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll let you know through this Dancing is Forbidden podcast.
Yes, you'll hear it here first, folks. So you've got that going on. I know you and Dave are always talking about something. I don't know how much you want to say, but you guys are always in contact. Just so the listeners know that you guys aren't mad at each other. I've told you before, I had somebody reach out to me. Say, Ronnie, I noticed that Matt didn't follow Dave on some social media platform. Are they not friends anymore? I'm like, what?
Oh, sometimes I forget to do stuff like that. No, we're friends. We do talk. We don't talk every day, but we have a movie that we wrote that we're thinking about a way to get funding for it. We just started talking about possibly something small for YouTube, but that's like one conversation, and we have more to do on that. And we're in contact. I mean, we would love to do something together. It's just, in this day and age when there's not a network behind you and there's not money being thrown your way, it just takes longer to get stuff going. So we have some resources. They're limited, but I think that's what makes that stuff work even better. Like space, like even in Space Ghost. I mean, that thing worked and we had like zero money. So
right, exactly. Yeah. That's the thing I've really learned from studying your work and this show is that like these limitations are what make it better because it forces you to adapt to those limitations and it just makes the thing what it is. So certainly not just something that you're grappling with. I know there's lots of aspiring animators and writers who listen to this podcast who struggle with the same thing. So, maybe they'll take solace knowing that it never really changes for you guys who made these amazing shows that you're always working with these limitations.
Yeah. And I think it's helpful too. It's like, I think it's just overall, it just makes it more charming. If you could just smoothly go for it, that's not what we do. So I think that helps with the tone and the humor of all the stuff that we make.
Exactly. And as we saw in this episode, right, where if you guys had a bigger budget, first of all, the episode would have turned out differently, but like you wouldn't have voiced the Genie character, I'm assuming, and then I probably wouldn't have liked this one as much because of that. So, well, all right, Matt, thank you so much for doing this with me, for being the pioneering guest on the new Dancing is Forbidden format. I had a good time. I hope you did as well, as I read your episode to you.
Yeah, I had a blast. Thanks for having me on. Yeah.
There he was, Gene Eugene himself, Matt Maiellaro, and we are both so excited to let you know about this animated series that we are beginning to work on. It's independent. We don't, there's Adult Swim isn't involved here or anything like that. But like I said previously there, really excited to not only do it, but also in the ways that we can try and keep things like Aqua Teen alive. Maybe you'll see some familiar characters kind of showing up in our thing in a way that isn't copyright infringement, but is still obvious who it's supposed to be. So more on that later, and I truly, sincerely hope that we have your support and your eyeballs on that when it comes out. And I'll send you my address later to where you can send me your eyeballs. Thank you. Let me say real quick, I mean, I just never anticipated 4 years ago that I would be saying this on the podcast, that I'm getting to do this with Matt, somebody who I respect so much, but somebody also over the last year who has just been a really great friend to me and somebody I've really valued having in my life. And on that note, I'm so appreciative that Matt hopped on here and did this new format with me. He trialed it with me. I didn't know how it would go, but anytime you're hanging out with Matt Maiellaro, it's a good time. So excited to move forward with this new format where it's a guest and I just talking about the episode as we go through it. Hopefully you enjoy that, and hopefully you will enjoy hearing from future guests. So I had a great time talking to Matt about Genie. Links to all the ways you could find Matt in the description to this podcast episode, as well as Nick Gibbons and Bob Pettitt. Go give all those guys a follow. I mean, they're all Aqua Teen legends. If you listen to this podcast, go give them a follow. All of them. I command it. Our next episode is Shake Like Me, and I'm having trouble finding anybody that wants to talk about that one with me. And now I know I could keep looking, but to me it would be weird and off-putting if somebody really wanted to talk about Shake Like Me with me. So I don't know how that one will go, if I'll do it. Maybe I'll just solo deep dive it. I don't know. So we might just jump to the next episode and come back to Shake Like Me at some other point. So we might just jump to She Creature next. And I've got guests for that one. Excited for it. So, hey, if you enjoyed this podcast episode, if you would like to support this show so that I can keep doing this, I would love to go to more than once a month. There's two ways you can support. First of all, you could share this podcast episode with somebody else who likes Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Sharing the podcast would be huge, but likewise, if you got the extra scratch in your pocket, all right, and I know that in this economy, everyone has extra money to give away, you can support this show by going to dancingisforbidden.com/support. Through there, you could sign up and get a bunch of extra episodes, and I've got a few new bonus episodes in the works for people who support at $5. I want to thank, and I'm not going to pronounce this right, all right? Suho. There's no way that's anywhere close to correct. ANUEUTSUHO. I want to thank you for signing up to the Patreon last year. Oh, I'm a little bit behind in announcements here, but I'm trying to get caught up. Thank you for signing up last year at the $5 tier. I want to thank our $10 supporters. We have Ian, Captain Buford, Robinson, Jason, Lesheratone69, Swimwiki, Lervinator, Jonathan, Luz, UK No Tamashi, Forrest, and D3PO. I fucking love you guys. Thank you for supporting this show. Thank you for your continued support, even while we really weren't doing that many episodes for a while there. And I got a bit of a send-off here, okay?
There can be only one!
Our Highlander Nick is no longer with us here on this podcast in his current tier of patronage. He was a good man, Nick. Always paid his Patreon thing on time. Never even cared about any of the perks that he got with it. He didn't give a shit. He was here to support the podcast, and I love him for it. Okay, Nick's fine, by the way. He didn't die or anything, all right? So here's the deal, all right? I started a new podcast this year called Yep, a King of the Hill podcast with my buddy Rob. And a side note, Rob does a lot of the work on that show. So in case anybody was wondering, Ronnie, why'd you start another podcast if you were having trouble doing this one? Well, Rob does a lot of the work there, all right? It's pretty badass. So Nick saw that, and Nick's like, hey, I'm actually a bigger King of the Hill fan than an Aqua Teen fan. I'd love to support that show over there. Would you prefer if I did that? I'm like, yeah, dude, go for it. So I'm just so incredibly thankful to have a supporter of my work like Nick. Like, I don't take that lightly. I'm so blessed to have somebody that, I don't want to say cares that much, because I know a lot of you listening do care that much, but also that he's, willing to donate that much to continue to fund my work. I mean, that put a lot of gas in the tank. Like, when he signed up at the Highlander tier, the $50 tier, which I added as a kind of a joke, and I never mentioned it on the podcast, but he saw it and signed up for it. That put so much gas in the tank, like, to know that somebody liked what I was doing that much. Like, I can't afford to do that for somebody. So the fact that somebody did that for me meant so much. But just getting to know Nick, we're very similar in a lot of ways. He suggests some really cool shows for me to check out for the Patreon. I just feel so lucky to have a supporter like Nick willing to keep supporting my work here and then on the other podcast. So sincerely, Nick, thank you so much. He's a cool dude and a very important figure to the history of this show. I mean, really, he's insane. I can't believe anybody signed up for that. And if you're listening now thinking, oh, does that mean the Highlander tier is open again? Because, there can only be one that can sign up. Well, no, it's not, okay? It's not. A very familiar name saw that and signed up. You'll hear that shout out next time. So until then, thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with Matt and I, talking through that episode. You can find me on Instagram at Ronnie V. Neely. You can check out dancingisforbidden.com to learn more about the podcast, send a voice message, reach out over there, whatever you want to do. My other podcast is Yep. You can find that at yeppodcast.com. And until then, keep it cool, take it easy. Bye-bye. And that cut is cutting to Frylock's bedroom, where it's very brutal. Did you see this picture, Matt?
Can you show it to me, or let me look him up? I was going to look up that background too, because we've had a dump before. Is there any way you can screen share it with me, or?
Yes, give me 1 second. I should be able to do that.
I'm sure you're going to edit this kind of stuff out because we were just kind of like looking for shit.
This is all I'm going to keep. I'm going to cut all that other bull crap where we're talking about the episode.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.